we are back. So, guys, who's just been watching me over at the WoodUBends page, welcome over to my page at Elfen Helden. I'm Angela, I am the owner and creative energy of Elfen Helden, and I am a premier retailer for WoodUBends paints and also a retailer for WoodUBends moldings. And my shop is over here in Frankfurt in Germany. Welcome to my page, and yes, today we were putting some trims on and the first coat of paint basically on this side here, and I'm going to prepare the other side now also, so that we can next week on the live at the WoodUBends page we can do the blending and all the things, continue the whole piece. And you can see this here in the middle here is like at the end going to be like a rusty part. WoodUBends has got a product which is the patina paints, and we can't get them over here in Europe. So I'm going to recreate this rusty iron and copper patina with the WoodUBends paints basically. And this is the first coat, so this is not going to be the finished product. It looks a bit matte at the moment. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to put the trims and the WoodUBends molds over on this layer, that on that side over here, so that we can get going basically. And this rust is, I want to have it going like from the bottom there, across, going over to the top here, over to the side. And it's going to be a little drippy and stuff like that. So this is, I think this is going to be very nice. I've got a picture in my head. Let's carry on with the WoodUBends. I've got the molds. I've got a keyhole which I've already broke, but that's no problem. I'm going to show you that you can also fix that, which is this little keyhole. I've already got it on my heating plate, so it's nice and bendy when you put it on. And obviously this keyhole is like vertical, and this one is horizontal. So I'm going to cut it apart and going to use it differently. You can see it over here, that works. And the nice thing about the WoodUBends moldings is when you heat them up, they are nice and bendy, and you can cut them and you can bend them. You can do a lot of things with them. So, let's see, are they top and bottom about the same? Yeah, okay. Gotta make sure I'm not losing the little parts, because I've got some cut off things around here. Guys, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and also when you pop on, just let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't done it yet, please, hi Solly, thank you for tuning in again. I'm so happy to see you, the WoodUBends Queen. You give me a lot of confidence. When you're in the background, I know I can scream for help. So, what I found out with the WoodUBends moldings, the temperature to keep them nice and smooth, because I've got myself a heat plate to prepare them basically. It's much easier. Hi mein Hase! I've got a heat plate, and they need about 120 degrees Celsius to get nice and bendy and stuff like that, and even the thicker ones. That's what I tested out. I had several ones over here which didn't work because I didn't get hot enough. So, and what you do, you use wood glue, normal wood glue, and whatever surface you're putting them on. The nice thing is, because they're bendy and stuff like that, you can put them around flower pots, you can put them around glass bottles, whatever. And even when you put them on a slick surface like glass or metal and whatever, you always use wood glue with them. And they are made out of wood. They've got some secret ingredients and nobody is like telling us, but they're absolutely amazing. So, and then you put them where you want to have them basically. You get your heat gun over there. I just had it too hot. I think 6 is going to be fine. You get your heat gun or a hairdryer or something. You don't need to have a heat gun necessarily. You can use a hairdryer obviously also. You heat them nicely up again. And you don't need to worry about the glue drying too fast or stuff like that. That's absolutely no problem. The nice thing about the wood glue is when you heat wood glue up, it basically reactivates. So, and now I want to squeeze it around. You can see I can push it to the side. It goes nicely around the that keyhole here. And where did I put it? Little piece. There it is. I think on a little piece I can use some of the glue I've got there. I was a bit too enthusiastic, I think. And I really like this cute little bottle because the nice thing is, in whatever direction you, even if you hold it like up like this, you can get the glue out, which is very nice. So, guys, I'm very happy that you're joining me again. That's great. And then I'm going to put it just on top where it belongs to. And at the end, where did I put my Q-tip? It's away. I'm just getting a Q-tip just to get like the excess glue out of the way. It was just a little too much I've used there. Just get it off there. And the nice thing is you heat them back up when you squash it on, because no surface is completely flat. They are, even glass is it's got like it's not completely flat, and when you heat them back up, you can really squash them onto the surface that it adheres really, really nicely. So, hi guys, thank you for joining me again. Very happy. Just say hello to me when you join, and just let me know where you're watching from. So get the other half, cut that piece off in the middle again, what I don't want to have. And you can adjust your WoodUBend molds basically to what you want to have, you know. You can cut them down, you can use bits and pieces from it. Yeah, the only limit is your imagination. So you can do a lot of things with it. They're so versatile. It's just unbelievable. I really like working with them. And I broke it again. I've got not very sensitive fingers today. I'm too enthusiastic, I think. So get it on there first, and then I'm gonna get the heat gun, heat it up again to make it nice and bendable basically. And like that you make out of a pretty boring keyhole, and it looks totally different. And you can see how you can nicely mold it around the keyhole. You can move it around. So, and this project is not about being perfect or anything. I quite like the rustic look of pieces. I don't like it too clean. That's basically the expression I'm looking for. I quite like it when it looks a bit rusty and stuff like that. So that's nicely on there. This is not gonna go anywhere now, because I didn't want to put some new hardware on there. There's going to be some new hardware on here. I filled it up with the Dixie mud as a hole filler. And now we're going to put this element on this side, like the opposite one. It's the 366 and the 367 as far as I remember. This is gonna go here. It's nicely heated up and you can see how nice and bendy it is. And you could even paint it beforehand and then put it on. That also works. And especially with the Dixie Belle paints, they are chalk mineral paints, but they are very flexible, which means when you bend those things around the corner eventually, you know, you can bend it around any corner just like this. It won't, the paint doesn't crack, which most the chalk mineral paints, they get pretty porous and they eventually crack. And then you have to repaint it, and this doesn't happen with the Dixie Belle paints, which is really, really good. I just love the combination of those products. It's like so many things you can do. So get this thing, get it nicely covered with glue. Every excess you squash out. You've just seen, you know, just covered it nicely with glue. It's normal wood glue. It's no specific. So now I've got to see if this is pretty square. I'm just basically, excuse me, eyeballing it. If this is square, squash it on there first to get like the first adhesion. And then you reheat it basically to put it on there permanently. Get your heat gun or your hair dryer, whatever you're using. There are also those, I've seen those embossing guns you can also use. That's all fine. They all work fine. I just love the heat gun because it's not so loud like the other tools. So especially when you're doing the videos and stuff like that. Over here. You can see how nicely you can move it around. So I think this is, yeah. Nice and warm. Squash it on there, make sure that like all parts are having grip to the surface, and then you're good to go. I mean, last week I've done a project with a wicker chair, and that turned out really, really well. I've actually, do you want to see it? I've got it here. Just behind there. That's just behind there. That's basically what we've done last week. That's the wicker chair. Got some WoodUBends moldings on the back and on the front. And this is also with the chalk mineral paints. And this, I mean, this is not going to go anywhere. This is like totally solid on there. You know, you're not going to move it. And you can't do something like that with anything else. Even if you use other molds or something like that, if you use them with resin and resin hardens, you can't, even if it's not completely hardened, you can't move it around like that. It just doesn't work. And if you use any other molding material, whatever, I mean, just like they all have like their positive and their negative things. but something like this you can't do with anything else. So this is perfect. So now we're gonna come back with our trim. And this is the trim 50A, which is a very thin trim, and it is very, very fragile. So you gotta work a little careful with it. But you can unroll it like this. And I'm going to start on the top here. And to make it easier, even I am learning, to make it a bit easier, I'm going to cut it firstly roughly where I need it, put the rest on there, stick some glue on there. It's a bit easier to have it basically work with it with the lengths you need. Stick the glue on there, and you don't need to worry about the glue because if the mold is warm or hot or something like that, obviously the glue dries pretty quick on there. Don't worry, when you heat it up again, the glue is going to reactivate and it's going to stick beautifully. And this how do you say that, this character of the glue, like getting soft again and sticky again when it's warmed up, basically also helps when you want to take them eventually off again, which you can do if you want to. So the size on the elephant. What? I can't read that. After this, as I can see, I'm going to be size of an elephant after this, as can't keep. The biscuit tin. Oh my goodness. So, are they making you hungry? Before I put it on, I'm going to make it nice and warm again, so I can move it a bit easier. So then you put it on, and it's a bit longer now than check if it's like straight. I'm just eyeballing it basically, and I think that's about the same height, isn't it? So squash it nicely on there. Come back with your heat gun to make sure that like all parts of the trim is having good adhesion to the surface. Heat it nicely up. It's so much fun working with them, you know. I always love when something works and they just work perfect. It's so much fun. And it adds so much character to your piece also, you know. I mean, this sideboard it's really old. And so this is about time it gets a makeover, gets some makeup. So get rid of the excess glue. That's it. So I'm not worried about that piece sticking over because I'm gonna come down with the other part. So this is going to be about to here. Cut it off that size. So I'm gonna heat it up now first because I want to cut like a V in there because it's supposed to go around this edge there. So when it's nice and soft, you can just cut it with your scissor. It's just when it's not soft, it's going to break. So you just gotta make sure it's nice and warm, and then you can basically move it. I'm going to stick some glue on here. Where did I put it? There it is. This is like putting like a puzzle together. Do you like puzzling? Is it puzzle in English? I think it is also, yeah. I'm not quite sure. It's like when you put the things together to fit. So, and now I'm gonna go right on top of the up here, so that they both cross over basically. So this is gonna go now nicely around this tip of the keyhole. Put it on there. Heat it up to make sure it's nice and bendy, so you can squash it onto the surface. So it gets nice solid adhesion. You can see when I press it down how the glue squeezes out underneath. And then I'm going to cut on top the corner so it looks like it's joined together. I can do that with a sharp knife. Take the top part off and the bottom part, and then you have like a nice corner where those bits come together. So that's it. What do you think? It's pretty easy, isn't it? There's so much you can do with that. It's so much fun. So there's still some glue coming out, so you see that it's so. Step on there, nice corner, and then we carry it on down to the bottom. Do basically the same thing, cut the edge off, warm it up first. It's basically the same procedure all over. There's no magic or anything. I'm just noticing, oops, I still got my paint open here, but we'll get to the paint in a minute. To be cut down here. Put some glue on there. And you see, you know, it's just like solid now. You can't move it anymore. You can only move it when it's nice and warm. And the thing is, you know, when it cools down, it just stays in the shape you've put it. No, that's too bendy enough. first. You can move it around. I've had like the most weird thing happening with my Facebook page lately. It's like for the last 2 weeks, every live I was trying to do is in the landscape mode. There was the it's like when I turned around to be in landscape, it was like blown up. I could only see like a little piece in the middle, and I couldn't really see what everybody else was seeing, which was such a pain, because I never knew if the setting of the camera was correct, if you could see what I was doing. That was so annoying. And when I was showing something close to the camera, I was just like pointing it everywhere, but not where it was supposed to be. And tonight, it's the first time since 2 weeks I can do normal life. Not any questions? Okay, nice. You're chatting away, that's good. Yeah, well, I'm pretty busy actually. It's like, I mean, the shop is closed over here. Obviously, it's just like everywhere is the same. But I was doing quite a bit of lives and stuff like that, so I was quite busy, or keeping myself busy. Gotta get it up and water. Still too much of the. It's not enough on the surface. I can see it from here. It still gets. I don't like that. Because when it's squashed right onto the surface, it's that's it. Now you see, there's like some more glue coming out now. Now it's right on the surface. This is always a good sign, unless you've used only a little bit of glue, but this is always a good sign when the glue pops out of the sides that it's really having good adhesion then, and it's nicely attached to the surface. So, pretty straight, I think. Pretty. So, I've got to start with a new one. They are about 210 centimeters long, those trims. So, I'll start with another one in a minute, but I'm going to join them together. See, maybe I can use the bits on the side here. I'll try that. Some bits left. It's already 2. Because when it's too cold, it's going to break when you try to cut it. It's gotta be nice and warm. So put some glue on there. Sorry if I bore you, but that's basically the whole procedure you have to do. Make sure there's enough glue on there. And you can also find all those moldings and all the paints and all the stuff we're using here in my shop. It's all in stock. I've just got fresh delivery of WoodUBends the other week, so I'm very happy. I can do some more happy bending now. have you been working on lately, guys? Oh. Did you hear that crack? There was a corner which wasn't warm enough, and it just cracked. But that's no problem. This is going. Oops, this is going to join. You see that just came off, but we're going to squash it back together. You won't notice that it was broken. Just put that there. Just see which side that was, which broke off. It's this one. Put it on. Can you actually see what I'm doing here? Yeah, I think so. And I'm gonna come back with the heat gun. Heat it nicely up. And then you just, it's nice and bendy. Just squash it to the surface. It's got good adhesion everywhere. And that's the other thing, you know, whatever mold you try to put into the surface, you can't push them unless they are resin or something like that. But resin, again, wouldn't attach or wouldn't mold itself to the surface like this one. So now you can see that you can't see. That basically where I just cracked it, I've just cracked it up here, and you can't see it anymore. Especially when you put some paint over it later. That's all going to be gone. So, I've got a tiny piece which I am going also to use for the bottom part here, because we're not wasting anything, or I'm not wasting anything. So, and because you can squash them also nicely into each other, you don't need to, because you won't notice that this piece wasn't basically attached to the other. And that was just like a leftover from the other trim over there, which was cut off. So with the trims you can always use all the bits and pieces you have. You too, sorry. It's the same here. It's like nothing is secure. Everything is going to have some paint left on. But you know, I mean, as mad as those times are, you've got to see the positive thing. At least we have some time now to do the things around our home, because you know, we make everything else nice, but our own places, was my place. My place is always a mess. So because I always make other people's things nice, but not my own. So this is quite good at the moment. So I'm gonna start with a new trim now, and then heat it up on that heat plate. Just going to measure that. Oops, to measure that about the size I need, and I'm going to cut it there. So, and always make sure that you roll up your trims in this coil again. You know, it makes it much easier to store, and they are pretty secure and they don't break. Especially with this one, the 50A, the TR50A. It's pretty fragile, and of course you can join it together again, but it is nicer if you can use it in whole. So. last bit now we're doing. And then we're going to carry on with some paint to at least have like the first coat on tonight. And next week on the Dixie Belle page, I'm going to do some other things this week. I've got, today I am in Frankfurt at my place, and over the weekend, this is actually going to be, I've counted, this is going to be my first Easter where I'm not at the shop. Because my shop is open basically from Monday to Sunday and on holidays where I'm situated. And this is going to be the first Easter since 1993 where I am not working on Easter, at least not at the shop. So this is this is quite strange. This is quite strange for me. But as I said, gotta see positive. The nice thing is, my sweetheart and myself, we have a long distance relationship now for about 8 years. And he quite enjoys that I'm quite a lot around his place now. And my cats, as on Christmas, during Christmas time, I'm over there because the shop is closed. And in January I was there, and in February we left the cats there because beginning of March we supposed to go into a trade show. So his mum was looking after them, so we left them there. And then this madness just like went viral, so to say. This bloody stupid virus. And so that's the reason I still left them there, because I thought if I stay at home on the weekends, I'm just gonna go crazy. So they are in Marburg with him, and I'm during the week in Frankfurt because I'm allowed to go to the shop. You know, I still have loads of work to do over there. That's not the problem. So I'm doing all my work I have to do over there. I do my shipping and stuff like that, because the shipping is even to European countries, it still works fine. So I'm still doing the shipping. And on the weekends I go over to Marburg. So in Marburg I have another project going at the moment, which I'm probably going to continue on Friday. Friday is a holiday over here. So I will use that because everything's closed, so why should I stay here? So now I'm going to cut the corners down here again, but I'm going to heat it up nicely first. So it's nice and soft. And then I'm gonna come in with my knife. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp, otherwise it's just a pain. And then you cut through, and then you take basically the corners off on top and underneath, and then you have like, it looks like a frame which is supposed to be, or which is like joined together like that. So that's how I like to do it. So, and that's basically what I've seen from our WoodUBends queen. That's how she does it, and it really works, as you can see. It's really good. Last corner. Off. The extra pieces off. top and underneath. And there we go. Last corner done. Just gonna heat it up again just to squash the whole thing down a bit better, because I can see there's still some gaps on top here, which I don't want to have. And tomorrow is tomorrow is shopping day. I'm gonna do the shopping. So my sweetheart, as I said, he lives in Marburg, and this is about 80 kilometers from here. And in his house, he's got the top apartment, and in the bottom apartment his old mom lives. She's about 86. So we are looking after her basically, and my dad, he lives about 40 kilometers away from me. He's about 84, he is. And as this stupid virus thing is, especially for elderly people, a little dangerous, I'm gonna do the shopping for him and stuff like that. So tomorrow is shopping day. And it's always funny because he sends me those pictures, you know, what he wants to have, and you know, and I'm running through the supermarket and trying. It's like this memory, this card game. Is like finding the match to the photo on my phone. But that's the best way to do it, and he gets all the things he wants to have. So guys, what do you think? That looks totally different now, doesn't it? I quite like that, what you can do with those molds. And I was thinking you can also put like a centerpiece or something like that. I've got beautiful medallions and stuff like that, ornaments, center ornaments. But I think this is going to be enough. I'm going to have like the rust going through here. So now we're gonna go in with the paint. And that's a nice thing. You can start basically straight away painting them. You don't have to wait because they are solid on there. They're not gonna go anywhere now. And you can start painting straight away. So just going to dampen it up. My brushes probably are dry now. Let's see. Oh, made them wet enough. That's good. Because what I do when I lay them down, I either put them in a baby wipe and I have to read the comments later. Sorry, I'm blind as a bat, so it's too small on the phone. Guys, I'm chatting away here. You're probably bored to death by now. Whatever. So put some paint on your brush. Less is always more. Just use a little bit, and then you just go over it. And this is, as I said earlier, this is the first coat. I'm not going to do blending at the moment because this crustiness it's gotta dry first before we do anything else. So I'm first going to layer the colors down, and the fun begins basically when the sea spray has dried and stuff like that. Then it gets funny, so to say. The hardware, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I just know I'm not going to use the old hardware, which is, but it was disgusting at the time. And when I received those two pieces at the time, I was working in hospital at the time, and I've got some disinfection stuff, and I had this steel wool cleaning things for pants and stuff like that, like really rough, and I really scrubbed those things down because they were so disgusting. But I really wanted to have it because I love like those old type of sideboards and stuff like that. And this is the hardware which was on there. So this is definitely not gonna go back on there. So put that to the side. I haven't found the right one yet. So maybe if you have some ideas which ones I should use, I'll really appreciate that. Just give me some ideas which hardware to use. So this is the aubergine from Dixie Belle, which is like a nice dark eggplant color. And then I'm gonna come in with the antebellum blue, which is a nice blue, and I've got the paint in my hand for about 2 minutes. I look like a little pig already. That's me painting. So I always like to have it a little damp, so to get the paint moving a little easier. And I'm using the brush is the Dixie Belle Mini, which is, I really like it because like it's got this short handle and lays nicely in your hand. And guys, when Dixie Belle came to Europe, and I basically decided to take it up in the shop, I was first thinking, especially with the brushes, that they are very expensive. And I thought, ooh, I don't know. And I've tried them the first time, and they make a huge difference, guys. They really make a huge difference. Those brushes, they are just amazing. So, you know, when you look after them, you can use them quite a long time, but they really make a difference. This is, you know, at the end of the day, if you want to have a beautiful piece of furniture, don't save on your brush, honestly. That's well, that's not the right way to do it. And those brushes are amazing. And they do have like those mini brushes, they do have bigger brushes, they have a mini angle, which is like angled, as the name says. They do have round brushes, they do have oval brushes, and they're all, you know, they're all great for certain projects. I'm just gonna make sure I've got it squashed nicely in there. Just push it into those crevices of this trim to have it nicely covered. So, and you can see also the nice coverage of this paint. I mean, this is just the first coat I'm putting down, guys. What do you think? You know, I mean, I think I'm always, you know, totally impressed. Yeah, how rich, pigmented those paints are, and how far they go. You know, and also, you know, I mean, the paints, they are not cheap. You can't say that. But also, you know, they go a really long way. And so I'm just going to layer that down here now. I'm going to see where I want to go with the rust in a minute. And that's also the nice thing about those chalk mineral paints. Firstly, they are very environmental friendly. They've got no smell to them. You can nicely use them indoors, which is especially at the times now where you're not allowed to go anywhere, and you have to work at home or do your painting at home, stuff like that. That makes it really, really, yeah, that really helps, you know, because you can't do that indoors. I'm going to bring the antebellum blue a little more down, and then we're going to have the rust over it. I'm just going to do that like this for now, and then I'm going to decide later colors move opposite or not. As I said, the blending we're going to do the next time. I'm just going to dry that quickly because I want to put the sea spray over it. So, and then after I put the sea spray on there, I'm gonna let you go, guys. I've got to get some sleep as well. Gotta get up early, do the shopping for my dad. And let's say to go shopping. So, this is my mixture of sea spray, which is, you can see it's pretty dried in now. So, which is not that much of a problem because I'm just going to put a little water in there, just a spritzer, and I'm going to mix it up. And you could also keep that in a closed jar. You know, if you have some left over and you're not messy as I am, you can keep it in a jar. So, you can see this is nice and crusty. That's how I want to have it. You can see those lumps on there, and I'm just gonna. Then you're going to put it down in a dabbing motion because you wanna build up those. You want to build up the, how you call that? The texture. You want to build up the texture. Christ. I'm going to put it on there randomly. There's no... And this is basically... when this is going to be continued, there's going to be some more color on top, and this is going to look like, look like patina stuff. So, what I'm going to do, because I want to use it up, I'm just going to lay it around the side here also. It's basically, I want to have it, move it nicely up. You can see this nice texture. You can go over it again if you want to have more texture. And the sea spray, I've used it also for raised stenciling. Obviously you can use the Dixie Belle mud I've used for filling the holes for raised stenciling, but you can also use the sea spray for stenciling, and it's a little rougher than the mud, but the positive thing is, or the good thing about it is, you can mix the sea spray with any paint color. As I've just done here, I've mixed it with Rusty Nail because that's my base color I'm going to have for the rust I want to create. While the Dixie mud comes in black and brown and in white. Still want to have some nice texture. A lot of texture on here. And for putting on the sea spray, you've noticed I'm not using my mini brushes. I'm using the Dixie Belle, the chip brush, because with this dabbing and stuff like that, and this texture in the sea spray, it's pretty rough to your brush. So I think that's yeah, that's how I like it. I'm going to put the rest in later on around the other side. So I've been on again for another hour. So guys, I hope, are you still with me? Oh yes, there's still some with me. Thank you for yeah, watching me and staying with me. And I hope when you had questions that you put it down in the comments. I'm gonna go through them either later or tomorrow. I think I've got to get some sleep now as well. I've got to get up early. Guys, thank you so much anyway for joining me. I hope that, well, shortened your evening a little bit. Again, for those who don't know me, my name is Angela. I am the owner and creative energy of Elfen Helden. I'm a premier retailer for Dixie Belle, also a retailer for WoodUBends moldings, and I am located in Frankfurt am Main in Germany. Yeah, and I thank you so much for joining me, and if you haven't done it yet, leave me a like on my page. And you guys, you just stay safe, and well, I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Bye. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.